Broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown studios inside Santander Stadium. Welcome to Revs Hot Stove Weekly, your preseason home for York Revolution baseball, and the only place to hear the latest player signings first. Revs Hot Stove Weekly on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports. Now, here are the hosts of Revs Hot Stove Weekly, Darryl Henry and Atlantic League Manager of the Year, Mark Mason.
Well, Mace, I need a nap after all that. That's been some day. We're a couple minutes late coming on. We'll explain. It's been one heck of a day around here, but it's been an awesome day that will benefit WOYK, I think, for years to come. Welcome to our final spring edition of Revs Hot Stove Weekly, final edition of 2015, in fact, and more on that coming up, of course, as we head into spring training this week. Mace, we have the new studio for the most part. All of the design coming in today. Some of the exterior elements will be done this coming week before the season gets underway. But the folks were in here today all day, and this place looks awesome. And we had a few, hookups that had to be done last minute. And somehow, here we are. We're on the air, and I need a nap.
You were like watching a 007 movie, the way you were trying to get this all put together so we could get on the air. It was really interesting. You did a great job there.
It's like when the bomb is ticking down and he's got I think it was Goldfinger where he had it with a second to go. Probably more than just that movie, but
yeah,
you
definitely
did that more than once.
I think they all kind of had the same plot. So yeah, but you did well under pressure here.
Well, thank you. So we're up, and what do you think of the design in here?
It's very nice. I mean, it's really nice. They did a great job. It looks great.
And this is our last show of the preseason, but we do have something in the plans that you'll be hearing about in the weeks to come, an extended pregame on Friday night home games here from the studio, and fans can look in from the window like the Today Show. They can hear the show on the plaza and throughout the stadium up until 6 o'clock when we transition to our normal pregame. That'll be on Friday night home games, so more details to come, but obviously the design in here, we wanted that ready and it looking pretty by the time that folks will be seeing that. So we've got some WOYK colors in here. We'll have to post these to our Facebook page so everybody can see. But all of the teams that we cover are incorporated in some way. The logo is all across the wall in here. So when you look in the window, again, like the Today Show from the plaza, and I'm sure, Mace, come Friday nights this season, they'll just be going crazy. They'll be hounding at us from the window. We'll have to keep them away. But it'll be a good look. The place is looking sharp. It's a pretty new home for us, sparkling new headquarters here.
Yep, looks fantastic, and everybody will be very happy, I think, when they look in, and it'll be better than looking at me and you and whoever else is in here at the time. So no, it does. It looks great in here.
Yeah, and I know you'll have your stuff getting ready for the game, so I don't know how often we'll be able to actually get you up here on a Friday night, but we are looking forward to that starting. Since Revs Hot Stove Weekly is going away, we'll transition to a weekly in-season program. And today, if you're making your way to the stadium to buy tickets for opening day, which is exactly 2 weeks away, or any of the other games this season, you will hear our show and our station on Brooks Robinson Plaza. The speakers are all wired up, and Mace, you were plugging your ears because you didn't want to hear the Masters results earlier, right?
I was walking across the plaza, and I hear the golf coming across, and I'm like, no, I really don't want to hear this right now because I want to watch it later. So that kind of caught me by surprise as well.
Did you get a chance yesterday to take in any of the York College game? We played our first game here on the field this season, and it was 44 degrees and misting by the end of the night, which I think has been a good weather day for their team so far this season. But our first baseball broadcast on radio as well. Had a great time doing that. Spartans got a 4-1 win over E-Town yesterday here at the stadium.
Well, I'm glad they won, but unfortunately I didn't get to take in any of the game. Basically, for the past 3 or 4 days, Nate Sterner and myself have been trying to coordinate travel for 30 guys to get here this weekend. So there's been a lot of emails, a lot of text messaging, a lot of phone calls. a lot of flight information, confirmations for travel, and all those kind of things, making sure hotel reservations for when the guys get here. So we've been busy trying to get everybody in this weekend, and hopefully we won't have any snags.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure nothing ever goes wrong with that, right?
Well, it's a lot different when you're bringing 30 people from 30 different places as opposed to 30 people in one place going to the same place down the road like we do when we travel during the season. But I think we did. I think we got everything taken care of today, and Nate did a great job coordinating a lot of this stuff for his first year. He was a great help, and so hopefully this will all go off without a hitch, and everybody will be getting their physical on Monday.
Yep, and we do have 3 signings to get to this week. We had left it last week as probably 2, but one was added late to the mix today. And Mace, I could have gone with we were 2 minutes late because we had to finalize the paperwork before the show. Could have gone with that one. We
could have gone with that one, and it would have been accurate. We actually were putting the finishing touches on the last signing right before 4 o'clock.
Well, before we get into them specifically, spring training coming up, give folks a little taste of the week to come. And the first chance that they'll have to actually see the team at home will be next Saturday, the 18th, for FanFest. All kinds of great stuff going on leading up to the game that day. The actual game is at 2 o'clock against Somerset. But, they'll have workouts during the week. We'll be getting the stadium ready, so those won't be open. But that game on FanFest, of course, is the first chance that fans can see the team live and in person. But give us an idea of what's coming up this week or the next 10 days, and for you in particular, what you're looking for and what your focus is going to be as you sort out the final roster.
Well, there's a lot of things that will be going on during spring training, and a lot of it will be on the field, and there'll be a lot of it off the field as well. We'll be doing a breakfast with season ticket holders. We'll be doing a hospital visit. We'll be attending a Rotary lunch here toward the end of spring training. And in addition to that, obviously, we have to get all the photos taken and all the breakfasts and dinners and the workouts. The physicals will be the most important thing. That'll happen on Monday, because if guys don't pass their physicals, they won't make it onto the field. So we're pretty comfortable that everybody will pass their physical. And then basically we'll have 4 exhibition games during the 10 days of spring training, and most of the other days will be workouts with guys working, our pitchers throwing against our hitters, and we'll try to get as much of that in as we can. We'll obviously incorporate bunt plays, first and third plays. We'll do a lot of infield, outfield drills. Pitchers will get their favorite pitchers fielding practice, which they all love so much. And, basically we'll just try to get a handle on what kind of shape we're in overall as a club. The pitchers, who's built up, who's not built up, who do we think is going to need a little more time. And then we'll just adjust our throwing programs accordingly. And we'll be piggybacking starting pitchers during the course of the week and actually the 10 days. And Fletch and I have been talking this week about what type of rotation we want to try to get started with. When you come into camp, you have to have some groundwork down. So, who we're going to look for as an opening day starter and kind of the rotation, who would be the long guys, who would be the back end guys in the bullpen. So we're going to have all that put together. And then obviously we're going to look at the position players, let them get a lot of swings in and get comfortable. Sometimes, just to let the fans know, when you come to the FanFest game, you might see some guys not swing the bat that often, especially early in the count, because a lot of hitters, they're basically tracking pitches because they might not have seen live pitching in a while. So they're going to try to see as many pitches as they can instead of going up there and swinging at the first fastball. They want to track some pitches, and they'll do the same thing with our guys during our workouts. So it should be interesting, and I'm excited to get the guys here. Everybody I've talked to is really pumped up about getting out on the field, so it should be a lot of fun.
Well, and there is no turning back now, because a few of them are in town already, and they'll all be here come Monday, and it's here finally.
It actually went fast. Like you said the other day when we were doing the radio show, it doesn't seem like it's been that many shows already, but we've been doing this for over 2 months, and it really went fast.
Well, on this week's show, we've got a couple of young guys who are going to be joining the team here in camp, and then I'll let a little cat out of the bag, a fan favorite, who we will be announcing here coming up later on in the hour. But Mace, let's start with our first signing of the show, and this is a guy that we had a chance to see briefly last season. And to be fair to him, as in his first pro season, this is a tough league to play in. But bringing him into camp, and a Pennsylvania native, he's not from Hanover, PA, not from our Hanover. He's from Hanover Township near Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. But Steve Solkoski, one of the younger guys in the league last season, and he'll be with us in camp and looking to make his mark again. So what are you looking for from Steve? What did he show you last season as a very young player here in this league?
He actually showed me some good things when he was in the game. I thought he handled the pitchers pretty well, receiving the ball. I thought that he had some really good at-bats. We just never really we never had a good enough sampling of him because he wasn't here that long, and then I basically sent him over to Somerset because they were having some catching issues, and I thought it would give him an opportunity to get more playing time. So I just wanted to bring him back into camp to get another look and, just kind of see exactly if there's anything that we missed or anything that he had improved on over the offseason, and, just basically make a determination from there.
And that'll put 4 catchers in camp. Are you happy with that number?
I am happy with that. We have a lot of pitchers in camp, so when you have a lot of pitchers in camp, you need a lot of catchers, so you're not wearing, 2 guys out the whole time. So we'll have 4 catchers in camp. I think we have 16 pitchers in camp, so everybody will get their fair share of work, and we'll be able to get a look at everybody.
What kind of battle at that particular position do you think we could be looking at here in camp? I mean, I know it's tough to handicap it before everybody's in, and I know you don't want to commit to number of spots at that position or anything, but how do you see that kind of? What are you going to be looking for from each of them anyway?
I can safely say that we will open the season with at least 2 catchers on the roster. That I can say definitely. Anything beyond that, we're just going to have to wait and see. It's hard to make decisions when you haven't seen the guys in 6 or 7 months. And there's some specific things that I'm looking for as well. And 10 days is not a great deal of time to see everything you need to see, but with the amount of exhibition games and the workouts, I think I'll get a good handle on it before the 24th.
So with Solkoski, he's a guy who's basically beginning his career. If he wasn't to stick coming out of camp, he's going to have some opportunities, isn't he?
I would have no problem finding Steve a job if he didn't stick here, and there's a lot of opportunities for him. It's really important for guys that are young and just starting out their career to be able to play on a regular basis, and to keep a guy around that would be more of a backup catcher, a 1-day, 2-day-a-week catcher at his age would really not benefit him if that's the way it would work out. So if we don't see him as a regular type guy or at least a 3-day-a-week guy, something like that, then we would probably try to find him somewhere else to go and play.
All right, well, there you have it. Steve Solkoski, who got in a handful of games with the Revs last season, just out of college, in fact. He had been at Shippensburg and then transferred to Misericordia. So he's a Pennsylvania guy through and through, and from the Wilkes-Barre area, and he will be joining the team here as one of our signings here on the last preseason show. He'll be in camp with us here this coming week. That's our first signing of the program. We've got 2 more to come, so stay tuned as Revs Hot Stove Weekly continues here after this on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Turning a double play takes teamwork, and so does preparing for life's challenges. Murray Securus works with you, hand in hand, providing thoughtful solutions to help you plan for the future. Team up with Murray Securus for safer, more secure risk management, personal insurance, health benefits, wealth management, even cutting-edge human resource solutions for individuals and small to large businesses. Living life in a winning way just takes a little teamwork. Call Murray Securus today at 397-9600 or go to murrayins.com.
Black Cat Brewing Company is a new brew pub featuring 8 taps of fresh, high-quality craft beer brewed on premises. Enjoy a variety of pub food, including appetizers, soups, panini sandwiches, and desserts, which are prepared by Red Lion's own Red Brick Bakery. Enjoy a casual, inviting, and family-friendly atmosphere as you relax with family and friends while enjoying some of the area's finest craft beer at Black Cat Brewing Company, located at 5 West High Street and Red Lion. Open Thursdays from 4 to 9 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays from 3 to 10. Check out Black Cat Brewing Company online at blackcatbrew.com and on Facebook. Hey Revs fans, swing into spring at bundles of savings at the York Revolution. The Swing into Spring ticket plan gets you 6 field box seats to the game of your choice, 2 parking passes, plus admission for 2 to take live batting practice on the field at 2:30 for the Revs' 5 p.m. game against Long Island on Sunday, April 26th. Swing into spring with the York Revolution. Save when you shop at the Apple Chevrolet ticket office by phone at 717-801-HITS or online at yorkrevolution.com.
Revolution! That's right. Baseball is back at Santander Stadium. It all starts with York Revolution Fan Fest to ring in the new season on Saturday, April 18th. Live music at noon, player photos and autographs at 1, and then the Revolution take on the Somerset Patriots in exhibition action at 2. Tickets are just $5 and may be purchased the day of the event or anytime at yorkrevolution.com. Revs Fan Fest on April 18th. Baseball is back. Revolution!
Hey, this is Mark Malone from NBC Sports Radio. The Revs play here. Catch York Revolution Baseball on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Back here on Revs Hot Stove Weekly, Daryl Henry along with Atlantic League Manager of the Year, Mark Mason, as we head into the 2015 season. And Mace, our first player announcement of this week's show, Steve Solkoski. And, you know, just to wrap that up, I mean, he's got some intangibles that made him, a pretty easy decision for you to bring back as well.
He really did. The main reason I brought him back, he was a great teammate, great character. He did everything that we asked him while he was here. He caught a ton of bullpens, and he worked really hard. So I just thought that it would only be fair to bring him back and give him a better look like we talked about before the break.
Well, and our second signing here of this week's show, and another young guy, and this is the one that almost made us late for today's program, Mace. This was late breaking. I mean, you breaking news here on this week's program. Desmond Henry, a young outfielder who you just signed and a ton of speed. How did this one come about?
Actually, I saw that he got released a little while ago and reached out to him and his agent. And he was, obviously like most of the guys do when they get released, is they're waiting around to see if something happens with another organization. And actually talked to his agent yesterday afternoon again, and we were able to get the travel arrangements made and get everything taken care of so we could get him into York tomorrow, flying out of California. So just a young guy. He was a 4th rounder right out of high school. He has spent the past 4 years in affiliated ball. Just a good prospect with a ton of speed. And I do like guys that can run. So we're going to bring him in. We're going to take a look at him. He comes highly recommended by some people that I know. I just want to see if this could be a little bit of a stretch for him as far as the experience level in this league, but we'll find that out during camp. And I'm really excited about bringing this guy in because, like I said, I actually went after him about 14 or 15 days ago at least, something like that, and we were able to finally get it done today.
Well, and what are you going to be looking for with the bat from him? I mean, he's obviously a very young guy, 21 years old, 4th-round pick of the Rangers out of high school. What kind of approach at the plate are you going to be looking for to go along with that speed, and how much of that can you determine in a shortened spring training?
Well, the main thing we want to look for is, can he handle the bat, which means will he take the coaching? Can he bunt? I hear he's a great bunter. So if he can bunt and be able to get the ball on the ground and use his speed to get on base, have good at bats where he can draw some walks. The one thing you cannot do in baseball is you can't steal first base. So somehow you have to earn first base. And as long as guys can do that have speed, they can create a lot of havoc, as we know. So we're going to bring him in and we're going to take a look. He could be a guy that could potentially be a 4th outfielder, a pinch runner, a pinch hitter, somebody that we need to get a bunt down, and those kind of things, at least early on. We could at least use him in some roles like that. He does have some very little infield experience if we had to do that, but he has a lot of time in center field, and obviously with the speed, I like that, and he's a good defender. So we're going to bring a young guy in, and we're going to see how it works out during camp.
Could you potentially, with a guy that's got that much speed, could you kind of find some sort of role for him, some kind of turn him into some type of role player if he's not – I mean, like I said, he's very young. If he's not going to be an everyday guy, can you find a way to use his talents to your advantage?
That's what I'm hoping, and that's what I said, is even a defensive replacement, those kind of things. I just think for certain guys, and I do like to take a chance once in a while with a young guy, that I feel we have good coaches here, and I think that we can, and we have a lot of good experienced veteran-type players that they can take some younger guys in and they can help them. Sometimes guys that get thrown into affiliated ball right out of high school, sometimes they don't get developed correctly or coached the right way. It just depends what the situation is and how the organization sees you moving forward as an everyday guy, a spot guy, a role type guy. So when you bring those kind of players in here and you put them with, Polo does a great job working with hitters. Obviously, since he's been a hitting coach here, we've been at the top of the league almost every year. And like I said, we do have good veteran players that will work with young guys. And if he has the tools and if he has the right mindset, this could be a great benefit to him. And if he puts up some good numbers in this league, he could probably get out of here right away at 21, 22 years old. So I'm excited to get him in here. I know he's excited for the opportunity, and then we'll just see where it goes from there.
And definitely over the course of the time that we've been here, you've seen guys that the resume, I guess, of what they've done in their career doesn't always translate to expectations in this league. So you can get some guys who are young and maybe didn't get a whole heck of a lot of opportunity before, and then they get here and they really shine. I mean, I can think of some young players from years past on other teams that we've seen do that and get picked up.
Absolutely. And one thing that you cannot coach is you cannot coach speed. If guys come in that can run, they can run. And that's, as long as you have that tool, and that might have been the tool that got him drafted right out of high school. I mean, you never know, exactly what went into getting guys drafted. But I always go back to Scotty Grimes. Scotty Grimes had 1 year of affiliated ball before he came here. And even though he was a little bit older, still had the same mindset. And Desmond actually has 4 times as much affiliated time as Scotty had. So, so we're excited about bringing him in here, and it'll be fun for him to get here, be around some older guys, and I think he'll take advantage of that.
Desmond Henry, again, is his name. No, I'm not familiar with him. He's not anywhere on my family tree that I'm aware of, but maybe down the line somewhere.
Possibly down the line.
Way down the line.
Yes.
But, that was always I remember, of course, a few years ago with what Scott Grimes did, we always wondered why he didn't get that next opportunity. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. I mean, we went for years without being able to figure that one out.
It's hard to figure out. It's need-based for every organization, and it depends how stocked they are in their minor league systems, whether they're willing to give a guy an opportunity or not. So it's easier for guys to get re-signed, I believe, that have been to the big leagues or that have been to AAA, that when slots open up, it's easy to take those kind of guys out of our league. But I think sometimes it's harder for organizations to take a chance, even though a chance was taken with Ian Thomas and he made the most of that. It's just, it's just all about need and those kind of things. So it's really hard just to say it's one thing or another. And, hopefully the guys are in the right place at the right time and they get a chance to show what they can do, and that's why we're here.
With his signing today, tell everybody what goes into the process of actually getting pen to paper and finalizing it and the paperwork and all of that stuff.
Well, what happens, you see the players get released, the agent usually goes with it. And then from there, the player will usually ask, how do you see me? What type of role do you see me, providing for the team? And you have a conversation there. It's a little bit of recruiting at that point. And I think it's really important to be upfront and honest with the players as to how you see them, so that when they get here, there's no surprises. And as long as you're not surprising guys in a negative way, you can usually keep guys happy. Sometimes guys think that maybe they can do a little more than I think they can, or my coaching staff thinks they can. And if that turns out to be a problem, and we've had that here in the past 5 years since I've been here, if guys are really unhappy, then we try to move them on their way where they can go get an opportunity that's more to their liking. But I think we have a great reputation of being upfront with the guys when we sign them, and basically they know what to expect when they get here. Sometimes you get surprised in a good way and a bad way. Sometimes you plan on a guy just being a role player and he ends up being an everyday guy and an all-star, like we saw with Wilson Batista a couple of years ago. And, then there have been times where you bring guys in and maybe it doesn't pan out as an everyday player like you thought it might. So it's always a work in progress, and you have to keep an open mind and see, with what we always say, the eye test, how the eye test goes, and then eventually how the numbers start to add up.
All right, well, that's the latest breaking news here on this week's program. Desmond Henry signed today. Young, speedy outfielder. Steve Solkoski signed as well. Young catcher, who we saw here briefly last season. And I'm not going to use the opposite of young for our next guy, because he's not old. He's not old, but he's very familiar to Revs fans, and he's done a ton in his career here in York, and he's back again. A fan favorite is who we will unveil next. Stay tuned right here. You're listening to Revs Hot Stove Weekly here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Security in life isn't something you just wish for. You build it with a strong financial plan. Start with Northwestern Mutual. Together, we'll design a disciplined and balanced approach to financial security, because reaching your goals is something we both want to work toward. To learn more, contact me, Dan McGarry, at my office on the Square in York. Look for the blue awnings. Who's helping you build your financial future? The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Revolution!
York Revolution Baseball is back, and opening day is almost here. The Revs Express starts rolling the weekend of April 24th. Friday the 24th and Saturday the 25th, the first 1,500 fans through the Santander Stadium gates pick up a free Madnet schedule courtesy of the law firm of Dale E. Anstein. Saturday also features mind-blowing inside-the-park fireworks after the game, presented by Flipside. Then we'll see you on Sunday the 25th for pregame autographs, catch on the field, and postgame Kids Run the Bases, presented by Logos Academy. Baseball is back in downtown York.
The new Wyndham Garden York, formerly the Holiday Inn by the Westminster Manchester Mall has been fully renovated and remodeled, with 177 upgraded guest rooms, over 16,000 square feet of meeting space, 2 large ballrooms, indoor and outdoor pools, a much larger fitness center, a new business center, and free Wi-Fi throughout. The new Fender's Grill and Pub features American cuisine in a casual atmosphere using local meats, produce, wine, and craft beers. The new Wyndham Garden, 2000 Loucks Road in York. Stop in or call us at 846-9500.
Black Cat Brewing Company is a new brew pub featuring 8 taps of fresh, high-quality craft beer brewed on premises. Enjoy a variety of pub food, including appetizers, soups, panini sandwiches, and desserts, which are prepared by Red Lion's own Red Brick Bakery. Enjoy a casual, inviting, and family-friendly atmosphere as you relax with family and friends while enjoying some of the area's finest craft beer at Black Cat Brewing Company, located at 5 West High Street and Red Lion. Open Thursdays from 4 to 9 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays from 3 to 10. Check out Black Cat Brewing Company online at blackcatbrew.com and on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Daryl Henry. Join Scott Geis and me every Monday at 4 for your College Spartan Sports Weekly, right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Each week, we bring you the latest in Spartan sports, featuring guest appearances from coaches and student athletes. York's home teams play on York's home for local sports. Spartan Sports Weekly, Mondays at 4 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
This is Bo Vaughn of the York Revolution. Catch the Revs all season right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Just heard from one of the many characters who will be moving into town here this weekend. York will not be the same for the next 5+ months, that's for sure, Maze.
Bo is something. And he'll be here on Sunday, so there's everybody's warning.
There you have it, fair warning. And, and so too is our next announced signing, quite the character himself. In fact, we will introduce him via music. We'll turn it up. I'm good, Mace. I'm thinking about just letting this go for a while.
Sounds good.
Yeah. That would be, of course, the one and only Stephen Penny. Big Pen is coming back for his 4th season in York, Mace, and boy, what a treat we'll have in store, I'm sure. It's he's obviously one of the characters, but one of the great performers that we've had in recent memory. In fact, he's the Revs' all-time leader now in appearances out of the bullpen. Last season, he set a team record for longest scoreless streak by a reliever. Year in and year out, he's been one of the best relievers in the league. And unfortunately, Mace, last season his year was cut a little bit short, but hoping that he's fully recovered from that and back to form here in 2015.
And I believe he is fully recovered. He threw for some major league teams that had interest in him. And, at this time of year, like everybody else, they have a lot of players in camp, or they did at that time. So they're going to be following him while he's here. And he said he threw the ball really well. Velocity was up. Everything was great. There just wasn't room on any of the rosters at the time. So they'll be following him while he's here. He makes our life a lot easier as managers and coaches. He's extremely dependable. He wants the ball all the time. He goes out there and he's consistent. He performs well, and he gives you everything that he has, and he's good. On top of all that, he's really good. So on the field, he's fantastic, and the same way in the clubhouse. He's a great guy. He brings he brings it all to the team, and just a lot of fun to be around, and we're really happy to have him back.
Well, we actually caught him this week in the middle of his cross-country drive, and this was fun, to say the least. Here's our interview catching up for more than a few minutes with Big Pen. Our conversation with Stephen Penny, take 8. Here in his cross-country drive. Stephen, how are you?
I'm doing good, Daryl. How about yourself?
Doing all right. How does this intro to our interview compare to the first 6 that we had to restart?
No promises, but we might have to restart this one in a second.
All right. Well, before I forget so many great topics that we talked about during our pre-show screening that we always do, you're actually a listener of the show, I understand. So we have gone worldwide, or at least nationwide. Bo Vaughn sent you the link to his interview. I'm wondering if you have anything to say about that since your name came up.
Yeah, well, first off, is there like some type of like rewards or something for listeners, longtime listeners?
No.
Reward thing? No. Oh, okay. Bo, I don't know, it just kind of seemed a little weird that he had to, talk to you about, what was he talking about? I don't even remember what he was talking about, to tell you the truth.
Well, I believe I asked him I can't even remember how it came up, like favorite teammates that he was excited to see back or something. I mean,
right.
So that's good. Your name came up in that, but...
I mean, of course, right?
Well, yeah. No, actually, you know what? It was a reference to... this could get awkward. It was a reference to shower time.
That's what kind of bugged me. It's like, I don't know, you don't really talk about that, That's kind of a sacred thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And how I was excited about shower time, right?
Exactly. It's one of your favorite pregame superstitions, something like that, something to that effect.
I mean, it's not a lie, but it's, it's kind of supposed to stay in the shower thing. So, I mean, I know there's a couple other guys there. I don't need to take the low blow like he did and say names, but we're going to have a little talk with him about, really, keeping it within the group. But I think he's still bitter about the last rummy game we played, and it was a pretty good whooping. So maybe that explains something. So
now, what exactly is that, or does that need to stay in there too?
No. Again, I'm not taking a low blow or anything, but take it for what it is. Maybe that's the reason why he, I don't know, had to feel like he had to come. I don't know.
No. What's the
underneath the bus?
What's the game? What I don't understand.
Rummy, the card game. Rummy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So could this be a potential Monday conversation? Like, just get it out of the, clear the air. Don't let it linger.
Yeah. Just address it. Take the bull by the horns, I guess. Right? Is that?
No, I'm a fan of that particular phrase. Yeah.
All right. Glad it's applicable.
So high road from you as always, right?
Yeah.
All right.
This was fun.
Glad we cleared our grievances through the media.
Right.
So
most important topic,
Yeah. Well, I figure we'd lead with that. So now that everybody's turned off our show, how's the drive across country going?
It's going well. My brother came with me last minute, and we've been I don't know, having a good time and everything. We stopped in have you seen the Food Network channel with you have to eat this huge steak for under like 60 minutes? It's in Amarillo, Texas. It's called Big Texan.
Man versus Food?
Yeah, I think it's Man versus Food or one of the other like Food Network channels. And so he came up with the idea, and he wanted to stop there, and so we stopped there. It was really good. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. So
now, was that on the way, or did you make a special trip?
No, yeah, it's on the 40 or whatever. So no, it's right off the highway or whatever. I guess freeway or whatever it's called. Yeah, and so I mean we've stopped at some other cool little spots, and it's nice. I usually do the drive by myself. Actually, he came out with me one other time, but I do like driving, but it's just nice kind of sitting back for a little bit too. So he's a good driver. So.
Oh, so he passed the test. That's good. Should we interview him too?
No, he's not here right now.
Okay, all right. Talking with Big Pen, Stephen Penny, who's coming back to the team. We saved you for last. You couldn't have signed your contract a little sooner, or what?
Well, I like to make a grand appearance. You know that, Daryl. No, I had some things in the making with a couple teams in Asia, and it didn't pan out at that time. And there's still an opportunity for it, but I just I wanted to wait till I heard back from that, and I gave a verbal commitment, if you want to say, to Mason. So, and he was okay with that, and he understood completely. So.
Yeah, no, totally makes sense. Just busting your chops. So, so as you make this drive, how does the body feel? I know unfortunately you had to shut it down last year. Has the off season been good for you?
Yeah, it's been really good. The injury it lingered a bit for a couple months after, but it feels completely healthy, or if not completely pretty close. So the body feels good. My hips are pretty tight right now just from the drive, but everything else is good. I hit it pretty hard this year, or this off season. So. I'm excited to face some hitters and see the progress and see what the season brings. So, and I'm also pretty excited for the teammates and the players that Mace brought in. It seems like a lot of returners. We really did have a good team last year, and we've had it in the past too. But I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. So it's going to be, especially on paper, it's going to be pretty phenomenal. I believe it's going to translate to actually on the field.
Yeah, I mean, last year, did you guys sort of part ways at the end of the season hoping that you could bring a bunch of that group back? I mean, it definitely seemed like a special unit.
Oh, of course. And I mean, that's always like in the back of, at least in my head, to see everyone again. But, non-selfishly, like, you don't want to see them again. You want to see them, on TV or with an affiliated, team too. But I mean, everybody got along last year too, and it was a good clubhouse, and and especially the shower group. I mean, we want to talk about that because it's already been thrown out there. Like, everything was really good last year, and I'm just excited. A lot of the guys. So.
Well, they're obviously a very mature group, and you're certainly a tone setter there. Talking with Stephen Penny. So, all right, where are you right now? I mean, we don't need to. We can unveil the curtain on our quote unquote radio magic. We're taping this interview a couple of days beforehand, so it's not where you are currently when this is airing. But where are you right now as we speak with you?
Almost to Memphis.
To Memphis, okay. So how many days does this trip usually take?
So I left Monday, and so we stayed 2 nights, and I'm going to stop in Nashville. So
I remember
2 nights, 4 days. So I mean, people can usually go longer. I think it helps with my brother when my brother's driving. That we can, if you're tired or whatever, you can just switch off. But it's nice. I mean, you could prolong it too, but I kind of want to get out there too and see what's going on too. So and get the ball rolling, I guess. So I don't know. So maybe step on the gas is a little bit harder than you usually would, I guess.
So by the time this airs on Friday, might you be in York?
Yes, I'll be in York.
Now the town will look out, everybody. The town will not be the same.
The only tall redhead, huh? I haven't seen too many redheads in York, to tell you the truth.
Really? You stand out?
Yeah, I don't know. Have you?
No, I really haven't. And to be honest with you, last season, I'll never forget this. When you came in for the first day of camp, I mean, you don't take this the wrong way. You looked like you had been in a cave for with your beard and everything. What are you going to be sporting when you get here this spring? Any surprises?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Like, people have their set ways of got to do this facial hair. I just kind of do whatever, to tell you the truth, Daryl.
We've seen.
Kind of free-spirited.
Yeah, well, that's great. And
right.
I do remember
a long drive.
Should we stretch this out and cover your trip to Nashville?
Oh, no. Not at all. No, it's perfect.
You'd like to end it soon?
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, how's your off season going, Daryl?
Oh, well, I asked the questions here, but since you asked, it's been good. We've done a lot with WOYK, so that's been fun. We've started this show, and I'm always looking forward to baseball season. Thanks for asking.
Right, not a problem. And I hear you've been training really hard too. So
really, really hard. Yeah.
Right. I read that on some blog or something.
I can't control what people write about me.
Hey, I don't. That's awesome, Daryl. But yeah, no, I like I said, I just can't wait for the season to start. I think we're going to be a very, very good team and contend for a championship too. So
yeah, no, can't wait. And you had told me on some previous conversations about your trip across country. You have some spots that you like to stop. Is there anywhere else that you're going to be checking out during the? I mean, one day I would love to make a cross country drive. Probably until I get like 2 hours into it, then I'd want to turn around. But it sounds like fun.
Like the part that I dread is just like the Albuquerque, either going from Albuquerque to San Diego or from San Diego to Albuquerque. That leg of it, it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of desert and just, I don't know. And once after Albuquerque, it opens up and it's really pretty, but it's the same landscape forever. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool, but if you've done it a couple times, it just kind of gets old,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like Arkansas. My favorite spot probably is after. So when I stop in Nashville, going up through Kentucky, and then you get into like the western part of Maryland and parts of West Virginia. I think it's really, really beautiful. I know it's just past winter and the leaves haven't really blossomed, or do leaves blossom?
That's a great question.
Okay. How about the leaves aren't really on the trees? How about that? Does that work? So it's not green; it's a lot of brown. But
it's your story.
Back from York last year and driving home, it was absolutely stunning how pretty it was. So,
well, you sure have sold
hills and everything.
Yeah, you sure have sold everyone on a cross country trip.
Did I paint a good picture for everyone, do you think, Daryl?
You did, yeah. Have you gotten any of the little local diners that you like to frequent along the way?
Yeah, that place in Amarillo, that would be that was the first time I've gone, and Thomas is the one that, my brother is the one that suggested it. That'll definitely be a frequent stop. There's a place in Memphis, a barbecue place that I'm going to stop at. Yeah, there's a couple other little things. It's just nice, like now, because you can go on like a Food Network app or go on the website and just find like a diner. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Of that's been aired on a show, and so you can see reviews or go on Yelp or whatever. So 20 years ago, everybody just had a Thomas Brothers, Just I guess word of mouth or trial and error, but we're a little spoiled now, I guess.
Yeah. Well, did you finish the steak?
I didn't have a steak. I just had a chicken sandwich. Thomas had a big old steak, so.
Okay. All right. Well, good stuff, Steven. I'm pretty much out of questions, so when you get here, maybe we can train for the aerobie Olympics a little bit and keep that tradition alive.
Right.
So
I don't know if leaves really blossom, though. I don't think that's right.
You're still on that, aren't you?
Yeah.
We don't have to redo this whole thing because of that, do we?
No. I think maybe if a couple listeners have a view of it or whatever, they can answer the question.
They can write the show.
You're right.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, Stephen, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your drive. And I know I speak for every Revs fan. Can't wait to see you here next week.
Oh, I appreciate it, Daryl. I can't wait either. And, we're going to be very good this year, and I can't wait for it to actually happen. So.
The one and only Stephen Penny, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, if that doesn't get you ready, I don't know what would.
That's a typical Stephen right there. That's a lot of fun, and he'll take you all over the place. But it is interesting always.
Well, he's back. That's very exciting news. So Steve Solkoski, Desmond Henry, Stephen Penny, your three signings here this week. We will take one final break. We'll wrap up the show. We'll wrap up the season of Revs Hot Stove Weekly. When we come back, by the way, Everett just walked into our studio, saw the new design, and said, whoa. So it's pretty sweet here these days. And Hershey Bears hockey coming up tonight as well. We'll plug that before we leave the program here also. So stay tuned. We'll put the wraps on this one coming up here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Black Cap Brewing Company is a new brew pub featuring 8 taps of fresh, high-quality craft beer brewed on premises. Enjoy a variety of pub food, including appetizers, soups, panini sandwiches, and desserts, which are prepared by Red Lion's own Red Brick Bakery. Enjoy a casual, inviting, and family-friendly atmosphere as you relax with family and friends while enjoying some of the area's finest craft beer at Black Cap Brewing Company, located at 5 West High Street and Red Lion. Open Thursdays from 4 to 9 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays from 3 to 10. Check out Black Cap Brewing Company online at blackcapbrew.com and on Facebook.
Get ready for winter now and save big on your heating oil or propane costs. Call today to schedule your first fill, and don't forget to ask our energy advisors about the right money-saving plan or budget to fit your lifestyle. Lock in your rate and protect your price all winter. Our price-protected customers save an average of $325 per year. Visit ShipleyEnergy.com or call 855-4SHIPLEY to schedule your next heating oil or propane delivery. Shipley Energy. Energy for life.
Revolution! That's right. Baseball is back at Santander Stadium. It all starts with York Revolution Fan Fest to ring in the new season on Saturday, April 18th. Live music at noon, player photos and autographs at 1, and then the Revolution take on the Somerset Patriots in exhibition action at 2. Tickets are just $5 and may be purchased the day of the event or anytime at YorkRevolution.com. Revs Fan Fest on April 18th. Baseball is back. Revolution!
This is Anthony LaRue of the York Revolution. Catch the Revs all season right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
From one season right to another, we go from Revs Hot Stove Weekly season, Revs Hot Stove season, to the season itself, coming up here in exactly 2 weeks from tonight. So, Mace, as we wrap up this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for 10 weeks of dedication on your part. I've enjoyed it thoroughly, and looking forward to working with you throughout the season on a daily basis, as we always do. What are you most excited about with this team? What do you think some of the strengths are as you build it, and the product that we're going to see on the field here?
To be honest, I'm excited with all the aspects of it. I think we'll play great defense. I think we'll hit. I think we'll hit for power. We'll have speed, and I think we'll catch the ball. So and I think we'll pitch, obviously. So I'm excited. I think we have a good group of guys coming in. They're excited. There's a lot of familiarity, which is a good thing. That kind of breaks the ice a lot easier when you get into camp. The fans will have familiarity with a lot of the guys that are coming back, so that'll be good for them. And I'm just ready to get going. You always think you have certain things when you're putting it together on paper, but it's nice to see it come together on the field, and that's what I'm most excited about.
Well, and you have proven to be the multi-talented manager of the Revs as you've sat in here and co-hosted with me for 10 weeks. Did you have fun doing this?
I had a blast, and it's always fun working with you. You make it easy for me, and I try not to drag you down too much. But
you carried it today.
But we, I think we do well together, and it was a lot of fun, and I hope the people that listened in enjoyed it. because I hope they enjoyed it as much as we did doing it. It was a lot of fun.
Well, and I thank you especially for today. You carried it along as was rehooking things halfway through the show still after our design efforts today. But today was a big day around here from a station standpoint, and this week will be a big week as baseball returns here to York. No time like it. It's always the excitement of spring training. Do you enjoy the 10 days, or is it stressful for you and the staff?
A little bit of both. I enjoy it because you get to have the guys in and you get to see exactly where you are physically when it comes to on the field. But there's a lot of logistical things that are different in spring training because your schedule changes from day to day, where once you're in season, your schedule's pretty much set with what time your batting practices take place, and when the pitchers are throwing, what time the games are. Everybody's here together, so it's a little bit easier when you're in season. Spring training, like I said, there's a lot of things that we do away from the ballpark as a group, as well as at the ballpark. So we have some early mornings, we have some later nights, and it's a little bit all over the place in spring training. So from a logistical standpoint, I think it's a little tougher on the coaches and the players because you're not on a regular routine. But as far as getting on the field and playing exhibition games and actually working out, nothing beats that. So it's that trumps all the logistical stuff that you go through during camp.
Yeah, well, it's definitely looking forward to the week ahead. And Mace, once again, as we wrap up, thank you very much for joining us here. It's been a fun 10 weeks to lead us up to it.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Well, tonight, coming up on the station at 5:20, pregame as the Hershey Bears are in the Canadian Maritimes to take on the St. John's Ice Caps tonight and tomorrow, so they're up in Newfoundland. 5:20 pregame coming up. Also tonight at 11, the Masters tonight, our half-hour program from Westwood One, wrapping up the day in Augusta, and that will pretty much wrap things up from here. So we'll certainly have the FanFest game broadcast on the station next Saturday. Tune in for that if you're here at the game or otherwise, and Revs baseball just around the corner. So for Mark Mason, Daryl Henry saying so long for Revs Hot Stove Weekly. Thanks for joining us all preseason, and we'll see it come into action here in the next couple of weeks on Sports Radio 1350. Now we'll join Under Center with McNabb and Malone in progress, and once again leading up to Hershey Bears hockey in just under 20 minutes. Right here on Sports Radio 1350, WOYK.
First in York, first in sports. Your only local sports station. The new Sports Radio 1350, WOYK, York, Pennsylvania.